Hello, this is Real World Audio, and let's answer a fantastic question that came for one of my latest videos, which was about phonostages. And we started a thread about signal to noise ratio. And Edward, he posted something really, really superb. And I want to showcase his comment. First, just get like it because he brought up an issue that is truly central to every audiophile pursuit, and basically what he's telling about is that the greatest limitation to the dynamic headroom or the dynamic range you are getting from your stereo system is truly limited by your background noise, by your ambient noise in your listening room. And like a typical background noise in a modern city home is, as he says, it's in the 40 dB range. And if you live in a noisy area like downtown New York or something like that, or downtown Honolulu is more what I would know about here, the with hands-on experience, then it's in the 50 dBs, maybe high 50 dBs, if your room is not sound treated. And then you are listening at 70 dB volume, which is a loud volume, not very loud, but speech-wise loud. So if someone is talking at 70 dB, then we are looking at the person, why are you shouting? So that's like a normal human vocal loud, not heavy metal concert loud. That's totally different. But this is something that most of us would listen to music, and in that case, if your background noise in an average home is 40 dB and you listen to 70, it means basically you have 30 dB that you are listening to. So it's totally irrelevant if your phonostage can handle 70 dB, or you have a DAC and your DAC says that it has 120 dB signal to noise ratio. It's totally irrelevant because you are hearing only 30 dB, and everything beyond that is eaten up by your noise floor. So this is something truly central to every audio pursuit. And this is one of the reasons why today we have these loudness wars, that people are trying to push the limits to get higher and higher sound pressure levels. Because if you have a 40 dB background noise and you listen at a loud volume, then you have just 30 dB between that, and that's enough for a very compressed material. But if you crank up for your volume to 90 dB, now you have, instead of 30, now you have 50 dB, the dynamic range that you can observe. And you crank it even higher, let's say you push it to 110 dB SPL, and now we are talking, because now you have 70 dB dynamic range you can listen to. But the problem is when the peak SPL is 110 dB, that's already extremely fatiguing for most stereo systems, and it's going to cause permanent damage to your hearing very fast if you listen to that volume all the time on an, well, not on average, because that system has to be quite beyond exceptional to provide that kind of volume at an acceptable-ish quality. But you are getting your hearing damaged, and you are not getting as much joy from it as you possibly can, because it always makes you tired and your ears are ringing, and next day you have to recover from the ordeal you suffered the night before. And if you want to attain like 110 dB, 120 dB SPL in your room, then you need either some very serious power amplifier or extremely high efficiency loudspeaker, or maybe the combination of the two. And this is and the problem with that is that the higher we go in power, the less chance we have for refined sound. I will expand on this on a different video, but now let's just come back to this core issue that you can have 70 dB dynamic range in a 40 dB noisy room when you crank your system at 110 dB, and then you need an amplifier that can crank out at least 1,000 watt for a normal loudspeaker to give you an acceptable experience with that volume. And now I am advocating low power and flea power amplifiers. There's a Darling amplifier, and what can that Darling amp do? Because even if you have very efficient loudspeakers, you are getting, actually with my loudspeakers, you can go above 100 dB with the Darling amp, or I can go, because I have both the speakers and the Darling amplifier. But if you have like loudspeakers that are 96 dB efficient, then the peak volume for you will be 95 dB. But of course you don't want to push it to the limits. Maybe you want to listen to mid to high 80 dB to have the best listening experience. And if your room is 40 dB noisy, then you will feel that I want more dynamic range than what I'm getting here. And then you will decide that, okay, I need more power. And guys, this is the wrong answer. What you need is not more power, because if you get more power, it only means that you are subjecting your ear to unnecessary, undue sound pressure levels, which will ruin your hearing. The answer is to get your room quieter. Have room treatments. Bring down your noise floor, especially if you are like in a downtown metropolitan area where your noise floor is 50 plus dB. I have one of my friends, he lives, actually now he doesn't live there anymore, but he lived in downtown Honolulu in a very, very, very noisy apartment in a penthouse, and he did some very serious sound treatment in his apartment, and he managed to drop that 60 plus dB ambient noise to very low, in the 20s, 20 dB ambient noise level. And the result was that instead of him needing to crank his system to blare at 100 dB volumes, it was enough to play it at like a 70 dB max level, and even then he could get 50 dB dynamic range out of it without the need of pressuring it. And all of you guys know that even if your amplifier is capable of 1,000 watts, if you don't have to push it, it stays more in the linear part of its curve, and it's not getting close to clipping, close to distortion, close to running out of juice, taxing the power supply. And especially if you have like a reasonably efficient, high efficiency loudspeaker, let's say 96 dB efficiency with a Darling amplifier, then attaining 70-80 dB level is a walk in the park for that flea power amplifier. You are not going anywhere near pushing that amplifier, and you are getting a very dynamic representation without fatiguing your ears. So, everyone, please take my message to heart, because this is the key to your stereo happiness: a quiet room. If your room is quiet, you will never achieve a dynamic range that agrees with your hearing, that agrees with your ears. You will just end up destroying your auditory system. But coming back to my example, so if I so I live in a smaller town, and it's a lot of trees and green around here, and not much traffic and just side roads. And if I open my big doors to the garden, then my background noise is around between 35 to 42 dB in a noisy midday scenario. When I close my doors to the to the garden, then during daytime, in a busy time, then my background noise level drops to the high 20s. And during nighttime, it's like around 8 to 10 p.m. when, traffic quiets down, neighbors quiet down, everyone just does his quiet business in the neighborhood. Then I am around 20 dB, and in late night listening, like 1 a.m. or so, it drops to 10 dB or below. And it's so quiet that there you can literally hear your own heartbeat, and I can hear the clock ticking on the wall 8 meters away, even though I have soundproofed the clock. So normally during daytime, even if I go there, hold it close to my ears, uh, I I can barely hear it ticking. And late night it gets so quiet that I can hear it 8 meters away, and it's like a loud noise that is very, very annoying. So the noise floor can drop here so much. But that's not just random. I went to extreme measures to soundproof my room, not just my room, the entire house. All of my rooms are soundproofed, and that was on purpose. And I will talk about that, how I did that, and what you need to do that. Just as a wink wink, uh, the soundproofing system I used is the exact same one that they are using in a professional movie theater installation. So when you go to your movie theaters, the modern ones, then that's the exact same system they are using there. And as you can hear there, it works pretty well, because the movie rooms are showrooms are next to each other, and when you are listening to a movie, the you cannot hear at all the next theater what kind of show is going on there, even if they are blasting rounds of ammo or explosions, whatnot. It doesn't go through the room, through the walls. So anyway, the message is that room treatment is beyond critical. That's the secret of all kinds of signals to noise ratios. And I have not even touched yet the issue of the headroom that an LP has, because this is what we are getting from the media, from the measurements, that an LP has a 45 dB signal to noise ratio, or a phono stage has a 70 dB signal to noise ratio. I'm going to stop here, and I make a very brief video, and I tell you guys what are the dB signal to noise ratios that I am experiencing, and then you can think about it. I will throw out a couple interesting points that will make these numbers not questionable, but just when you read about numbers, you need to think, and do not just swallow something because it's printed on a piece of paper. It doesn't suddenly become the 10 Commandments. You have to experience these things for yourself, measure those things for yourself, and draw the consequences. So thank you, Edward, for making this crucial comment, and everyone have a wonderful day. Bye bye.